Bill Cosby's road to freedom began late this afternoon when the Pennsylvania Supreme Court dropped the legal bombshell. Natasha Brown joins us from the prison in Collegeville with how it all unfolded today. Natasha?
Well, Yuki, good evening to you. It's been relatively quiet here outside of the state prison in Collegeville today. As you know, it's been a much different scene than 2 years ago when the whole country and the world watched disgraced Bill Cosby walk into this prison shackled and handcuffed. Again, a very different scene today played out with little fanfare during his release. Bill Cosby left the state prison in Collegeville in a 3-car motorcade after the state Supreme Court's ruling. Pennsylvania's highest court overturned comedian Bill Cosby's sex assault conviction. The court said on Wednesday that they found an agreement with a previous prosecutor prevented him from being charged in the case. 83-year-old Cosby has served more than 2 years at this state prison. He could have served a maximum of 10 years behind bars, and he vowed to do just that rather than admit to being guilty. Cosby, who was once beloved as America's dad, was charged in 2015 when a Montgomery County prosecutor armed with new evidence arrested him days before the 12-year statute of limitations expired on the sexual assault allegation. Bill Cosby was convicted of drugging and molesting Andrea Constand at his home in 2004. Meantime, officials from the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections confirmed that Cosby was issued a parole number upon his departure just as a formality. However, a spokesperson confirmed he is not subject to further DOC monitoring or reporting requirements since his conviction was vacated. Well, again, we've really not seen a lot of reaction here, or a lot of activity outside of the prison here in Collegeville today. We have certainly heard a lot of it. Lots of motorists who have been driving by just screaming out how they feel about the release today, and it's certainly been mixed reaction about the fact that now Bill Cosby is a free man. That's the very latest here in Collegeville. Natasha Brown, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Natasha, thank you. Our team coverage continues now with Joe Holden in Norristown. And Joe, you've covered this case extensively, and now the court has let Bill Cosby off on what some are calling a technicality.
Yeah, Yuki, good evening. This is about as close as trying to put the toothpaste back into the tube. A seismic legal development this afternoon as the High Court overturned Cosby's conviction. The court releasing its 79-page opinion, basing all of that opinion on the merits of a press release, which amounted to, it's argued, a contract between Montgomery County and Bill Cosby all those years ago. Now, there was a full decade in between the filing of criminal charges against Cosby and that now ultimately significant 2005 decision. At the heart of today's opinion by the state Supreme Court, the press release issued by Bruce Castor, the former DA, that he would not pursue any prosecution of Cosby. Bill Cosby would later go on to make incriminating statements in a deposition regarding the accused aggravated indecent assault of Andrea Constand. Those incriminating statements, which Cosby's lawyers unsuccessfully tried to suppress, became the foundation for the prosecution against him, one that the Supreme Court today said should not have gone forward. In its opinion, the Supreme Court wrote, and I quote, "We hold that when a prosecutor makes an unconditional promise of non-prosecution and when the defendant relies upon that guarantee to the detriment of his constitutional right not to testify, the principle of fundamental fairness that undergirds due process of law in our system demands that promise be enforced." I spoke to Bruce Castor earlier today. He says this all exonerates him.
It's nice to feel that the Supreme Court agrees with my legal reasoning, but you'll recall that this was used against me in the election. Now, I had won 4 elections in a row in Montgomery County, but I lost my 5th one because I didn't arrest Bill Cosby, and I was attacked for the decisions that I made. So it doesn't make me the DA, but it makes me right.
It's a cautionary tale that reinforces the notion that prosecutors should never make deals out on the street telling people, well, give yourself up and I'll make a deal with you. You should never do that, because when a prosecutor speaks, they speak from the authority of the highest elected law enforcement officer in the location, and you're bound by your word. It's really like a binding contract, and that's the end of it. So it is a cautionary tale for every prosecutor everywhere.
And we are also hearing from attorneys for Andrea Constant, Dolores Troiani, and B.B. Kivitz, writing today's majority decision regarding Bill Cosby is not only disappointing, but of concern in that it may discourage those who see justice for sexual assault in the criminal justice system from reporting or participating in the prosecution of the assailant, or may force a victim to choose between filing either a criminal or civil action. She goes on to say, we were not consulted or asked our thoughts by Mr. Castor concerning any agreements, concerning immunity or anything, and we were not made aware if there were any such discussions. Well, Bruce Castor providing another warning, saying that Bill Cosby may have an action to file against Montgomery County, arguing the county could be liable now for this decision that goes all those years back. Live in Norristown, Joe Holden, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Joe, thank you for that.